Hi, my name is Ava, and this is my experience at FFA National Convention. We left school on Sunday at about 1 p.m. and stayed in a hotel in Charleston, West Virginia. And then Monday morning, we drove into Ohio and visited Furman Orchards, where we learned about the apple business and tried some fresh apples. It was really cool. And then that night, we arrived at our house in Indianapolis and unpacked and got settled in. The next morning, we got up and first we studied, and then we left the house for lunch. We saw the stadium for the first time, and we went to Back Nine Golf for lunch and to play a little bit of golf. And then we went shopping, and then we got home and we studied, all of us together, for the first time for our test the next day. The next morning, we arrived at the convention center to check in, and we had some time to walk around the expo and check out the shopping mall. It was huge, and there was so many FFA members there. I got to talk to some colleges and see some really cool things. And then we walked over to the convention center, and we found our table in the testing room. No phones are allowed in the testing room, so we didn't get any pictures. But here we completed the group research project and the test portion of the competition, as well as the minutes practicum. And then we walked back to the expo to see more. And then I met Dale Brisby, which was really cool. The next day was very early morning. We had a little bit of time to walk to the expo before the meeting portion of our competition. It was super crowded, but I listened to some karaoke at the Tractor Supply booth. Karaoke sounded great, and then we made our way to the holding room for the meeting portion of the competition. We had to say a quick little prayer, and then we performed our meeting. We didn't do as good as we could have, but either way, I'm so proud of our team, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity to be on the Parley Pro team. Then we went to the second shake for milkshakes and fries, and then here's a little interview. Hey y'all, so I'm here with Mackenzie. So Mackenzie, tell me what you think about National Convention so far.
I think National Convention has been really fun. I think that we have got to experience a lot of new and different things that we haven't been able to experience back home. It's been a really great time here with all these people. You know, we've got to explore and just do a bunch of different things at the convention. I think that this has been a really great opportunity to take advantage of FFA and Parley Pro, especially. Being able to compete here is such an honor and a privilege. And I just think that moving forward, because after this I can't compete anymore, I really hope to see many of the younger folk get into FFA, and I really hope to see, especially Parley Pro, be able to come back to National Convention again and again, because, you know, this is the first time we've ever been to National Convention, and I just think that it's been such an honor. And like I said, I really hope to see the younger folk back home be able to come here and experience this as well.
Awesome. I love it. And about our competition and our team and how we did, what do you think?
I think that we did really well. You know, we have went through a lot of trials with this, and just it's been really hard to just be able to even get here. And I think that being able to be here, like I said, is an honor and a privilege. And I think that us competing and working through our trials and working through the adversity that we face is just really shows a lot of strength on our part. And I really think that since doing that, and just like I said, being able to compete in general is such an honor. I think that we did good during our meeting. I really do. With the circumstances and the situations that we faced, like I said, we persevered and we pushed through that. And I really think that's what counts. I think our meeting went pretty well. You know, we had a couple hiccups, which is to be expected. You know, nobody's ever going to be perfect through a meeting, but I think we did really well considering everything that we faced.
It's a good experience. It was my first time going to National Convention even though I'm not a teacher anymore, as a teacher/advisor. I had been as a college student, but I always said I would never go with a group just to be going. Mm-hmm. Like I wanted a purpose to go. And so you guys won the parliamentary procedure competition state level this year. So we got to represent the state of North Carolina in the parliamentary procedure competition, which was also kind of a bucket list item for me, something I wanted to do before I retired or died or something.
I love it. Would you be excited to bring a group back if you could?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like the last couple of days, well, even the whole week has really made me, like question why in the world did I go into this administration thing when I could be doing this maybe every year? But yes, I would definitely go back. It was the schedule was hectic because like when you're competing at National Convention, like I don't feel like you get to do all the National Convention things because you're so busy all the time. But it's been a good busy.
I love it. How did you feel about coming to National Convention without your original team? So let me provide a little bit of context here. I was not a part of the original Parley Pro team. One of the girls on the team had some things going on, and she was very busy with college, so she opted not to go and compete at National Convention. So I had the opportunity to do her part, which was the president's position. I learned to do the president's part in about 4 weeks. I had absolutely no experience with parliamentary procedure, so it was definitely a challenge, but I learned so much from this experience, and I really enjoyed it. And back to the question I asked Mr. Fowler, I asked him how he felt about coming to National Convention without his original team. We agreed that it was certainly challenging, but we were satisfied with how we did, and we were very thankful for the opportunity to be at National Convention together. Now, this next interview was filmed after we got back from National Convention. National Convention schedule was super busy and very full, so this next interview was filmed after we got home, obviously, but here you go.
Hey, my name's Jean McPherson.
So tell me your involvement with FFA and who you are.
Well, my husband is Fred McPherson. He's the ag teacher at West Columbus. I'm retired, so that means I'm a chaperone on every trip that he has.
I love it. So you were able to experience National Convention as a chaperone. I was not personally able to attend any of the sessions in Lucas Oil Stadium. Could you tell me about that? What you thought?
Yes. When you go to a session in Lucas Oil Stadium, you have to think, this is where the Indianapolis Colts play. So it's a huge arena. This year we had, I believe the number was about 70,000.
That sounds about right.
70,000 FFA members. That's 70,000 corduroy jackets in Lucas Oil Stadium.
Wow.
To say that it's not electric is an understatement. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. It's loud. You have the officers, you have all the students, you have the delegates on the floor, and those are the national delegates. We actually had a national delegate from West Columbus, Ethan Hammond was there. So he was on the floor, and then you have the probably 3/4 of the stadium full of blue jackets and advisors and chaperones like me. And there's so much going on, but the main thing is when students attend that, they feel a tremendous level of belonging and acceptance because everybody is there, and it's like you're all in one mind and accord, which is FFA and your CDEs, and to get to know people and to do a better job of everything you do in ag. With that, you have opening presentations with the state officer or the national officers, which is impressive because the things that they do, it just blows my mind that they're extremely professional and everything's really well done. But probably one of the most important things that I get and the students get when I've gone with them are the keynote speakers. We were fortunate to go to the second session on, I believe it was Wednesday of this past week, and she wasn't on the agenda. We knew there were going to be proficiency awards, but she wasn't on the agenda. But the U.S. Secretary of State, Brooke Rollins, spoke, and she was absolutely amazing. She herself was a national officer from Texas. So she had her jacket, she took her sport coat off, and she put her jacket on, and she wore her FFA jacket. And if that doesn't resonate with students like you, I mean, she was you. So, and she said, there could be somebody in the audience that among those 70,000 FFAers that could grow up to be the next U.S. Secretary of Agriculture or a future Secretary of Agriculture. So it's all that, and then they had some, a couple of comedians and stuff like that, and the band's playing. But it's just a sense of camaraderie. It's just amazing to me. I didn't have FFA growing up. I didn't know what it was until I met Freddie, actually.
Wow.
I know, but I feel like part of the family, and I actually have my honorary degree from the state. Wow. I actually got that several years ago, and I was so proud. I felt like I had closure in something that I never even knew existed. It was amazing. But the National Convention, when you travel that far, you need to soak up every single thing that you can from the expo. Right. But those sessions are just amazing, and electric is a good word for it. But I mean,
so you see these kids from home. How does National Convention grow them and affect them as FFA members?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so they several ways. So you see the CDEs, the proficiency awards, And we had, of course, West Columbus had the agronomy team that went, just like you guys had Parley Pro. So they got to experience, I mean, competing on a national level is way different from federation, regional, or state. I mean,
100%.
So they have that, and the competition itself, of course, if you compete at a national level, you can't do it again. So that's kind of poo. But I mean, it's a lesson learned, and it makes them want to go back and do better. And they see all these kids doing. They see the national officers and what they're doing, and then they see the delegates down on the stage. And we had several kids say, "Oh, how do I get to be a delegate? I want to be a delegate." So I think they, when they leave, they come back inspired. And they feel
100%.
encouraged, and it's like, well, you know what? If that person can do it, then why not me? And it's encouraging for all of them.
I was not able to attend the sessions, so I did not see the national officers, but even the state officers who are only like 2 or 3 years older than me, and the level of professionalism that they portray, that's really inspiring to me.
Isn't it amazing?
So
it's amazing.
Miss Jean and I talked a little bit more about our FFA experiences. It's really cool to hear another person's perspective on this year's National Convention. In summary, getting to National Convention was a tough journey because of the challenges of only having about a month to learn everything I needed to know, and also not having our entire team at school to practice with was tough. But I'm so thankful for the opportunity to compete at the national level, and even just the opportunity to go and be able to see all these things with an amazing group of people. I learned so much about FFA and all kinds of other things, and I really hope I get the opportunity to go back. Now, to finish it off, here's some footage of us leaving Indianapolis early Friday morning and driving through Indiana. Again, I'm so glad I was able to experience National Convention this way, and I really hope you learned something about FFA from the video. Thanks so much for watching.